What is the number one thing that veterans should do before they submit their claim? And that is the intent to file. In today's video, I'm going to explain what an intent to file is, why you should do it, and how you should do it. So stick around. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne Kimball, owner and founder of KMD89 VA Claims Consulting, United States Army veteran and retired VA rating specialist. In today's video, I am going to explain what an intent to file is, why is it important, and how do you submit it to the VA. I do talk to some veterans that say, I don't know what an intent to file is, and that's surprising because they've been around for a few, the intent to file has been around for a few years now, okay? So I have 3 slides that I'm going to go through and we're going to discuss it. So by the time I finish with this video, you understand what is an intent to file, why is it important, and how do you submit it to the VA, okay? So slide number 1. Here in slide number 1, you can see this is the actual intent to file form. Intent to file a claim for compensation and or pension or survivor pension or DIC. We're going to be talking about compensation. So as you can see, I filled it out and just used a John Doe, okay? That's all it is, but this is the form. Now, you can see in the top right-hand corner, the expiration date is 2021. Now, I got this form from the VA's website. Every time that I do a video, I go, especially if I'm using a form or manual reference or 38 CFR, I go to the VA's website to get the updated information, okay? So on this form, you can see it is outdated, but as long as you get it from the VA's website, you're still good to go. For some reason, they just hadn't updated it, okay? So in this form, you have the veteran's name, the social security number, birth date. Let's see what else we got. Oh, current mailing address, all right? Then it asks, has the veteran ever filed a claim with the VA? Yes or no. Telephone number, address. In section 2, it's clear, general benefit of election. We're talking about compensation, okay? Now, one thing that I want to point out is it's not asking you what conditions you are claiming. That's important, okay? So as I talk about it a little bit later, I'm going to explain that. But on this form, it's not talking about or asking what conditions you're claiming. Basically what you're doing, you're putting the VA on notice, hey, I'm submitting an intent to file. In the next 365 days, I plan on filing a formal claim on a prescribed VA form, all right? Keep that in mind. They're not asking you what conditions. You're just letting them know, hey, I plan on filing a formal claim in the next 365 days. All right? So let's move along. Slide number 2. And here in slide number 2, this is a M21 reference. Now, as I state in some of my other videos when I show an M21 reference, one, the M21 reference is not the 38 CFR Code of Federal Regulations, just a manual reference for VA employees. But a lot of good information, because as you can see down below, what does it give you? 38 CFR. So you can look at these 38 CFRs and it'll give you more information on intent to file. I just picked to talk about the manual reference date, but I'm pretty sure one of those we'll talk about the intent to file and effective dates, okay? Now, why communication of an intent to file is important. The communication of an intent to file to VA is important because VA may grant entitlement to benefits from an effective date prior to the date of claim. Now, you may be asking yourself, Dwayne, what is a date of claim? Date of claim is the date the VA receives that prescribed form. So for example, you do an intent to file, 6 months later, you submit a VA form 21-526EZ. When the VA receives that 526EZ, that is date of claim, DOC, okay? as long as the claimant submits a complete claim within 1 year of the date VA received the intent to file. So you heard me talk about the 526EZ. That's a complete claim. So, for example, let's say the veteran submitted an intent to file May 5th, 2022. And then the veteran turns around and files a VA Form 21-526, April 1st, 2023. That's within that 1 year window, that 365-day window that they're talking about, okay? And let's just say the veteran gets service connected. Then more than likely, they're gonna go back to that May 2020 date, okay? That's just to give you an example. So for those of you that are familiar with the intent to file, you can look in that notification letter and rating decision. You want to be looking for that intent to file date. Now, some of my previous videos, I talked about the notification letter. So in this one, I'm going to bring up the rating decision, because in the evidence section, if you submit that form, guess what you should see in that evidence section? The intent to file. Okay, if you submitted an intent to file form, it should be in the evidence section of the rating decision. Now, at the end of this video, I am going to link the previous video that I did where I explained and showed you examples to point out the difference between the notification letter and the rating decision, okay? So definitely go to that rating decision and look to see if there's an intent to file there, because if you submitted an intent to file and they gave you effective date or date of claim, and it should have been an intent to file, which could have been 6, 7, 8, 9 months earlier, that will affect your overall percentage. Well, guess what? That impacts your back pay, okay? So if you go to a high-level review and you say my effective date is wrong, it's up to the veteran to point out why that effective date is incorrect. And this is how you do it, okay? So, like I said, I had 3 slides. Third slide, slide number 3. Different ways to submit an intent to file, okay? Here's a few, most common ones. Go to va.gov, initiate an application for benefits, hit save, but you don't complete the application. That's one way. Fax the intent to file form that I showed you to the Department of Veterans Affairs Intake Center. That's the fax number as of the date I did this video. Direct upload, click quick submit button. That's the link, and you can upload that form there. You can mail it. This is the VA's mailing address to the intake center in Janesville, Wisconsin. Now, the most common one, especially our clients, they'll call 800-827-1000. Now, this can be tricky because a lot of veterans don't follow up. When you call that number, you let them know, hey, I want to do an intent to file for compensation. That VA representative shouldn't ask you for what conditions, because guess what? On that form, it doesn't ask you. So if they ask you for what conditions, I don't know. I'll figure it out in the next 365 days, okay? But when you call that 800 number, you want to call back the next day and confirm that the person that you talked to actually put that intent to file in your electronic folder. I've had clients, and I've talked to some veterans, they didn't do this. They actually got service connected, and guess what date the VA used? Date of claim. They got a copy of their VA claims folder on CD, and to their surprise, that intent to file was not in there, okay? And either way you do these, you should receive a letter, okay? And it's very important, because if you're doing this at the end of the month and you go into the new month and you don't confirm it, and later on you do confirm it and it's not there, you don't have a leg to stand on when you do the high-level review, when you're contesting that effective date, okay? So a lot of these documents, if you call the 800 number and you request, hey, can you send me that particular letter, okay? They should be able to send it to you. I did another video where you can go to the VA's website, check status of a claim, and I'll walk you through how to pull down different correspondences or download different correspondences that the VA emailed you. I will link that video to the end of this video. Okay, so intent to files, I think, are straightforward, but veterans can get themselves in a pickle if they don't understand it, especially when they get that rating decision. That's why I always encourage veterans, everything that you send the VA, keep a copy of. Everything that the VA sends you, keep a copy of, because effective dates can be extremely tricky. When I was a rating specialist, I made mistakes, granted the incorrect effective date, just looking over information, may have been, reviewing it a little bit faster than I should have, and I missed some stuff. But when you, the veteran, get that rating decision and notification letter in the mail, you need to be confirming those effective dates. How can you do that? If you keep everything that you send the VA and keep everything that the VA sends you, I think you'll find it a lot easier to make sure that that effective date is right when they adjudicate that claim. So that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and don't forget to share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.